Okay, now let's look a little bit more detailed at some of the code on the page that the user sees, the user interface, which here is our equipment status page. And right here on the C4, you can see we have some code here. It's a query with an import range. Let's go ahead and take a look at the detail of how this code works. So we've drawn this out from this page here. We've got this right here. I'll use a red color here. This cell right here is this code. And we're going to be drawing data from our list of equipment page. This is basically our database. This is where our data is. And this is our user interface, what the user sees. And you can see what the user sees includes that sign out. If they click there, they want to sign a piece of equipment out. If they want to return equipment, they want to sign the equipment in. They can click to view the photo of the equipment, and you have your equipment number and of course the status. So this equipment here is already in. So there's nothing here. This equipment is out, so it tells who took it out and what day they took it out and how long they'll take it out and for what purpose they took it out. Okay, let's look at the detail of the code now that's inside this cell here. And we begin with our query, and then we have an import range. Then we have some links here and names and some area to specifically select. So let's look at this piece by piece. Of course, we have a query, but first we're going to do an import range. So the way you read this kind of code is you need to kind of go to the inside first. So in the inside here, we have an import range. So this import range is going to grab some data from the key B2. Now what is in key B2? Well, let's take a look. In our key B2 right here is we have the ID for the database. Now it's not really a database, we're calling it a database, but you get the idea. It's this page here. So this key is the ID for this. Now we could just write it here, but it's so long and troublesome that we go ahead and we use a reference here. So we do not have quotation marks, no quotation marks, because it can change. Next, we have a comma, because inside of this document, we're going to look for the tab. And this tab has a name and it's list of equipment. So that's where we're going. And then specifically, we're going to look at the B2 to D range. So B here, and then B2, and then we're going to go all the way down to the end of D. That's going to grab B, C, and D. So it's going to grab all this data all the way down to the bottom of the page. So this is the import range command. So that means we're going to grab this data from B, C, and D, B, C, and D, beginning at 2 and go all the way down to the bottom. And we're going to bring it over. We're going to grab that data. So that's the import range. Right here. Now we're finished. This is finished for this import range. So this is grab this data all here. So what we end up with is we've got B, C, and D. We've got all of this now we've grabbed. Okay, what are we going to do next then? We're going to use the select command next. And the select command is going to from this group of data, select a piece of it, not all of it. So when we got this data in our memory, this is going to be column 1, this is going to be column 2, and this is going to be column 3. So in this part of the command, select, which matches up with the query. So here we're going to say query, which means grab something, check for something. We're going to use this data, and then from this data, we're going to select columns 2 and column 3. So now we only want C and D. So if we look over here, we can see we've got B, C, and D, right? C is the number of the item, and the D is the description. We're only going to grab C and D where column 1 equals good. So column 1 is here, and if this says good, then we go ahead and we grab that data. If it doesn't say good, if it says repair or some kind of problem, then we don't grab it. So this is how we use the query command. So first we need to get data, which is this table here. Then we can select part of it based on the query. And here the query is where column 1 equals good. Let's look back at our main page here. Come back to our status. Again, this is the user interface. And what we're doing is we're going to go ahead and show all of the items that could be borrowed. However, if the item cannot be borrowed because it's broken or it needs repair or it's out of commission, then it should not show up here as a possibility.